Slick Boy Saturday. It's episode 1 of our turbo install. So purchased a On3 turbo kit off Facebook Marketplace. Marketplace kind of got me, so I was kind of watching this ad, and the guy started lowering his price, and then I just lowballed him, hoping that he would say no, and he actually said yes. So I ended up picking this up today, Saturday. So kit's pretty much all here. I think I'm just missing like one band clamp, and then I still gotta buy the Y pipe kit so I can connect it to the mufflers and then have the exhaust cut out. So looks like they just had the exhaust dumping it underneath the car, so I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna get a little turbo guard for the turbo, which is like a little mesh screen, because I don't really like the look of the filter, so I gotta do that. And then just like the oil fittings, I gotta see how those are gonna work, but I might change them, I don't know yet. Got the Motion Raceworks vacuum tree and a low dollar Motorsports pressure transducer to run as well. And then I got a Aeromotive 3, I think it's a 345 liter pump, but everything's here. The turbo kit, here's the intercooler. I think it's another wastegate right here, but it has an upgraded wastegate and upgraded blow-off valve, part of the kit. So I'll be starting the install. Started slowly pulling apart the front bumper, so I gotta get that off to get the front bumper support off to make room for the intercooler. I'm actually gonna run a tubular radiator support, or tubular bumper support, so there's a bunch of clearance for the radiator. Other news, my slicks and skinnies finally showed up. So I got the Comp 5 Billet Specialties 17x4s for the front, and then the Billet Specialties 15x10 6.5 inch backspace for the rear. The rears are specific for Cobra rear brakes, so there's like looks like there's an F in the part number, so it's got a special barrel for the rear so it clears the brakes. So it's kind of a different shaped barrel than like the normal I guess the normal 15x10s that you see. But yeah, only thing, so I tried them on, only thing they hit is the caliper bolt, so I gotta change that out. I ordered the Maximum Motorsports low profile bolts, so that should clearance everything, because it just barely touches the bolt, and it's just like the stock style head thickness. But here's the car. So I'll be taking the intake off so I can put the 60-pound injectors on here. I gotta take the alternator mount out because it requires a different style to move the alternator slightly over. And then I gotta take the front bumper off, so I'll start with that, and then I'll check in. And Adrian's out in jail right now, so I'll have him back tomorrow because he was summoned. But yeah, that's where we're at. A little drag and drive trailer. Changed out the safety chains for some cables. Got the 4-way plug wired in, so this is pretty much ready to go. So can't wait. But yeah, things got a little serious all of a sudden. Jesse beat me at the last Kingdom drag, so kind of a little overboard and went down the rabbit hole. So here we are, slick skinnies turbo kit, and see how this works out. Quick little update. Kind of started the install. I was trying to get a little head start because sometimes Adrian doesn't show up on time. So got the front bumper off, got the factory radiator support, or not the radiator support, the factory bumper mount, or bumper support, crash bar, whatever they call it. That's getting replaced with a tubular one from BMR. That'll be here later this week. But I got the cold side for the most part about halfway there. I just have one more pipe that connects to the turbo, which obviously the turbo's not installed yet. But the cold side's pretty much on. I just gotta bolt the intercooler up. I got some little fitting to do with that. But for the most part, yeah, this is kind of how it's going so far. That's all tied in. I still gotta pull the upper intake off because I gotta change out the injectors. But that's the SET mass air meter that's installed already, so that'll be most likely coming out. I'm gonna weld a bung for the intake air, I guess, yeah, intake air temp sensor, which is technically right here, which I moved from the factory location because the factory location is right there, which is that gray plug. That was constantly reading like 200 degrees plus, and I read a couple things on the Facebook Holly groups that moving the sensor to behind the throttle body actually keeps it cooler, so the computer's not, or the Holly's not freaking out thinking it's 200 degree intake air temp. So that's kind of where we're at. Looking cool, really excited. Tomorrow when Adrian decides to show up, we'll be pulling the long tubes out, pulling the X-pipe out. That'll be going on in his car. Then we'll be mounting the new turbo headers, the turbo itself, disconnect, or actually removing the alternator bracket and the smog pump pulley, because that has to go away, to use the On3 turbo, his On3 alternator bracket, which rotates the alternator closer to the distributor. So if you're looking at the front of the engine, it rotates it more to the right for some more clearance for the turbo. But yeah, cruising along. There's a whole bunch of bolts, or actually nuts, on the edges of the bumper. It's a bunch of, I think it's like 5 or 6 nuts that hold the front bumper on. There's like little studs sticking out of the front bumper, which it's pretty much these holes right here. There's about 5 or 6 per side, and then there's 4 bolts that hold the bottom of the bottom of the bumper lip to the lower radiator mount, which is like the core support. You have to take those off, and then there's 2 brackets that hold like near the radiator hold down clamp, which is like right here. But yeah, cruising along, really excited. So hopefully by the next weekend I can have this thing running, so I can start tuning it and figuring stuff out. So yeah, just a quick update. Day 2 of the On3 turbo kit install. Adrian's still not here again. He's on the way right now. Goals for today: hopefully get the whole kit installed, get the upper intake off so we can swap out the injectors, get the long tubes out, and get the X-pipe out so we can get the turbo manifolds installed. So, and then most likely get the alternator bracket figured out as well. But yeah, here we go. So we'll check in a few once we get rolling here. Oop, it's stuck. But yeah, this is exciting. Much excitement. Little update: Adrian finally made it. Hooray! We got the upper intake off. Long tubes rolling bolted right now. That side's unbolted. Adrian's pulling out the X-pipe, the new to him X-pipe. A little peek underneath. TKX, the Stifler's cross member, and then the Stifler's drive shaft safety loop. So all that's underneath. Long tubes are about to come out. Yeah, you can kind of see the hydraulic clutch setup right there. But yeah, all this is about to come out. So once Adrian gets off his ass, making moves. Quick video update: long tubes are out. These are the BBK, I think it's 1.75" long tubes, and then this is, I forgot it's some like APD, something like that, X-pipe. It's some like random website that we found, actually a friend of mine found on the internet, that sells X-pipes made for the Fox body long tubes. So Adrian's putting the starter back in. Little mini torque starter from LMR. Still stock long block for now. There's the other header. So making progress. Maximum Motorsports K member, A-arms, solid motor mounts, all that stuff. Basically everything underneath the car is pretty much all brand new. The only thing that's really stock is pretty much the motor at this point. But Maximum Motorsports offset rack bushings, It's the billet aluminum bushings, Eibach sway bar, front and rear, Flowmaster FX series mufflers, Bilstein coilover, or Bilstein struts with their Maximum Motorsports coilovers. Yeah, you name it, it's got it for the most part. Eventually I'm probably going to cut the core support off and do the tubular core support, just for some more weight savings now that the turbo is hanging off the front of the engine. But yeah, here we are. 60-pound injectors are in. They're Siemens Decas 60-pound injectors, so those are in. That green plug right there is for the map sensor, or yeah, I guess manifold error pressure sensor, whatever it is. So I have the adapter for that to go into the Low Dollar Motorsports sensor. I'll be mounting the vacuum block right next to the line lock right there. That's a TBM Motion Raceworks line lock. It's a low amp line lock, which I think it only pulls like 1.5 amps, I think is what they advertise. But yeah, making moves. Adrian with his new to him long tubes. We'll probably have these wrapped in the high temp wrap while they're out before we put them in his car, because next episode for his vert is going to be the T5 swap and then the hydraulic clutch setup similar to the hatch. He's just saving up for the hydraulic setup. But yeah, making moves, getting there. All right, day one, or actually technically day two complete. Got most of the kit on, all the hot sides bolted down for the most part. Adrian forgot to bolt some, tighten down some of the header bolts, so I got to redo those. Thanks. But it's a tight fit. I got to redo some of the power steering lines. I have to redo the starter cable. Let's see, I got to order the Shorty oil filter. I have the long version K&N that was hidden the actual header itself, so I have to order that. Other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory bolt together kit. Gonna go order some plugs for the O2 sensor ports. I'm just gonna be running one on the downpipe for the Holly, but intake's just set in place. I gotta bolt that down. I think I'm gonna have to notch out this opening right here to get the header, or I guess the charge pipe to fit. It just needs to move back just a little bit. Some of the other videos I've seen, they have to notch that, so I'll be doing that. That's the SCT mass air sensor I gotta eventually take out, and I'm gonna put a bung there for the intake air temp sensor. But for the most part, kit's basically done. I still gotta do the alternator as well. We gotta change this adapter for the fuel pressure sensor. I think I have to do a 90. It comes straight up. And then I have the Motion Raceworks vacuum block right there. That's gonna be where the manifold air pressure sensor is gonna go. Because currently I'm just using the stock built-in one, which it does, I think, 1 bar, which is basically atmospheric, which it's like 14.96 psi. So that'll be going over there. We're just about to head over to Dale's to grab the bushing for it. This vacuum tree is going to go away. It's a stock one, so everything's going to go over to the Motion Raceworks vacuum block. But for the most part, everything's pretty much done. Really impressed for as easy it is to bolt it on. It definitely helps having the electric fans on here, because we don't have to deal with the clutch fan, which that probably would hit the charge pipe, or the charge pipe. But it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm also deleting the AC because just the way the lines looked, and currently the AC doesn't even work anyway, so it's kind of well, while we're here, Miles just remove it, thanks to Adrian, because he wants to be a race car boy. So here we are. But condenser's out, which gave some more room for the intercooler to tuck in nicely. Turbo's right there. So I'm gonna get a little turbo guard, a little mesh filter or mesh screen for it. But yeah, just trying to get ready to have it ready by the next weekend so I can start driving it around and start tuning it and get ready for Mendota, and possibly go get my revenge on Jesse for sending me to Gapplebee's last Mendota, or actually in Kingdon. So we'll see if I can get this thing together for Mendota March 15th. If not, April 3rd, I believe, is our next event. So we're getting there. He's just sitting there just trying to clean. See, he's just trying to not get in trouble right now. So, but yeah, here we are.